Hello and good afternoon, everyone. So I am Alok Anand, the founder and chief data scientist at Alma Better, and I welcome you all to today's career guidance session. These sessions are an integral part of Learn, Earn, and Return, the program we offer at Alma Better. So we conduct these sessions every week where we invite a distinguished member from the data science community to connect with the data science enthusiasts like you guys. So it's also a very good opportunity for young learners like you to ask your questions to the industry experts. So that being said, let's welcome our guest for today, Ms. Ekta Maheshwari.
All right. Hey everyone, how's it going?
Great. So I'll give you a brief introduction about you. So I was waiting for your video to be turned on. So,
Yeah.
so to all our learners, to all our attendees, Ekta is currently working as the lead data scientist in the research and development division at Accenture in Europe. She has previously led the data sciences team at renowned companies like Geo, ZS, Quantic, Exa, etc. And before starting her career, Ekta did her bachelor's in computer science and specialized in business analytics and optimization. So, yep. Hi, Ekta. Thank you for taking the time out for this session. And it's a pleasure to have you here today. And all of us are really looking forward to this great session.
Thank you for having me here, Alok.
Great, great.
All
So,
right.
all right, Ekta. Like, we will start with the most basic question, like most intriguing question, like how did you become a data scientist and how did you start your journey?
All right. All right. I do get asked this question a lot of times. To be honest, I never aspired to become a data scientist. All right. I went to college wanting to do something groundbreaking, which I'm sure a lot of us do. And I actually ended up changing my specialization multiple times. And as I was just exploring options, I happened to, take up a class in Introduction to Data Analytics, and I thought that class was so much more engaging than other classes that I was taking up. So I just, I from then on, I tried taking on more and more classes in data science. And as my interest grew, I wanted to find a job in the same field, and I ended up getting an internship in Reliance Geo. I think having a summer of doing that work, I realized that that is something I wanted to pursue. So right after graduation, I joined in a mid-sized company as a data analyst, moved to being a business technology analyst with ZS Associates, and got promoted to analytics consultant. And now I work as a lead data scientist with Accenture Baltics. So that's pretty much the journey.
Great, great to know this. I see like you have been a part of multiple roles, like you were business technology analyst at ZS, and then right now you are lead data scientist, right? Can you tell us like how do you differentiate between all these different kinds of roles? Does this like come in the same umbrella of data scientist, or there are some differences between them?
Right. First of all, as you mentioned, they come under the same umbrella. It's you might hear a lot of terms or roles around data analysts, data scientists, machine learning engineers. First of all, let me like to start that no role is better than other. Okay, but when we talk about these different roles that I mentioned earlier, I think, in my opinion, the major difference is between the responsibilities and scope of work in all of these. Like, as a data analyst, you analyze data to answer specific questions, like, why sales dropped in a certain quarter, or say why marketing campaign did, better in some regions and it did not in others. So data analysis involves answering questions generated for better decision making, while I would say data scientists, on the other hand, through data analysis, also define new business problems and questions, and that lead to innovation. And then uncovering these solutions to these new and unknown problems is the entire journey for it. Like, how do you predict the stock price of the company, given the brand value or the reputation of that company in the current market? So it's very volatile again on a different level, but as you gain more experience, the focus shifts on the skills. Of course, you tend to understand the company's requirements, you go back and forth with the stakeholders, because what they say they wanted first might not be, what you really need, or they might need it, to solve their problem. So you have to dig in a little bit, and the part of this entire process is, not just using the data you already have, but also working with the team. So it really scopes down to translating your technical work, your statistical insights, to the client, while also working with your team to break down the problem and solve it in the first place. So that's part of multiple roles.
Great, great. So, very interesting thing. So, 3 days back, I got one message. Okay, I am working in sales domain and I am using data to understand about the customers,
Right.
to do a better pitch, right? So, in that case, like, should I call myself a data scientist? Right? Am I a data scientist? So it's like right now it's very there is no clear distinction. If you can say like marketing guy, they are using data to optimize their whole campaigns, right? So in that case, what's the real thing? Like, who is a data scientist? What's your opinion?
Right. 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 So in that case, Alok, I think we are parents, even every one of us is using data, and data is everywhere. So, as you said, an example of a sales manager or a sales folk, trying to identify, say, for example, trying to identify how well they did in the financial year, is also dealing with data, right? But not necessarily is his major primary objective is to, focus, like his primary focus is to improve the sales at the end of the day, but not actually look into how he can improve his results or his insights in a better way. So or for that matter, just reproduce his results or his models every day. So modeling is not his primary focus. Like, so every person right now in this digital world is dealing with data, but again, not every person is a data analyst or a data scientist for that matter.
Right. And you pointed out the right thing. Like, I think there is a difference between your primary work versus your secondary work. So, as a sales guy, doing sales is your primary thing. And definitely, you are going
Right.
to use data to gain insights about your customers and to optimize your goal, right? To maximize the goal. So, in that case, you are not a data scientist because that is not your primary goal. As a data scientist, I believe our primary goal is to crunch data, right? You might get a problem statement from marketing team, you might get problem statement from business development team, right? There might be multiple projects you might be getting, but there will be no clear direction to it, right? You will get the problem statement, you will get the data, you will crunch, and you will get the insights, and you will present. So my primary job is to work on data. Then you call yourself a data scientist. Am I right, Ekta?
Right. I think 100% agree with this. Like, it's fun part, or the most engaging part is, data is, you can do data analysis in every domain possible. So that doesn't just qualify you as a data scientist or a data analyst. It's much more than that. Yeah.
Correct, correct. And
Yeah.
nowadays, I think data science has become a kind of required skill set for all guys, right? In every
Correct.
domain, they are using data, they are crunching data, getting insights, and then optimizing their own code. But then again, this is the distinction which I feel, in my opinion, is like, what's your primary job? Whether you are a marketing
Correct.
person, you end of the day you have to run campaign, or your primary job is to gain insights and give it to that guy who is going to run the campaign, right? So
Absolutely.
that's a clear distinction, which I feel, in my opinion, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, here, one thing is like, okay, so we know this, like, who is a data scientist. Now, there, I have got a lot of questions, like, from our learners, that who can become a data scientist. So, I am from non-engineering background. I am from sales domain. I am from arts. I am from various domains. So, can I become a data scientist? So, this is like most intriguing questions I have got, like
Yeah.
most popular question. So, can you put some thoughts on it?
Um, Honestly, I would say, there's just one answer to this every time anybody asks me this is anyone can become a data scientist. Like, if you're motivated enough, you are all set there. But of course, like, most of them here in this session would have heard the buzz and chose to be here just to understand. So I think it makes the most sense to break it down into its components. So I just have a very fun analogy that I tell people is, a spoonful of maths, sorted with statistics, seasoned with problem solving, and I would say served with storyboarding and eaten with strong communication. So I think these are the five crux of what, regardless of what field you come from or what field you choose to be next, you should focus on these fundamentals. And I think if you have a knack for any one of them, you are good to go, because a data scientist might be a unicorn that bridges maths, algorithms, experimental design, with business, subject matter expertise, and communication. But to be honest, they aren't specialists in every aspect. You could excel in one of them. Your work in a everyday life could just be translating the technical work to the business people, or your work could just be trying to get data, or access data, or clean the data in the first place, make sense of the data. So it just differs. You don't have to be master of all trades. Jack of all trades could work for you in this field.
Great, great. And that was really interesting analogy. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, like in my opinion, I think becoming a data scientist, there are four components to it. Very famous like components you might have heard of, like coding slash
Yeah.
programming. That's one of them, right? Second is mathematics. Third is business acumen or domain expertise, and fourth is communication. So these four things, even if you are from engineering background, let's say, you will be comfortable with maths, right? So even if you tick one box, definitely you can pursue data science, right?
That's
Let's say
true.
you are from non-engineering background, you have done MBA. So in that case, definitely you will have good communication, as well as you will have business acumen, you have understanding of business because you have done MBA, right? So even if you have done arts, so I'll go just
Yeah,
opposite,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Right, so in that case, definitely you will have something here. If not, then definitely you can learn about it. So I'll say, if you have not ticked any one of them, then that's fine. Just figure out, okay, what is
Right.
your stronghold. You might be good at communications in that case, right? So even if you are good at communications, you can definitely pursue this field. Rest everything can be learned, right?
Absolutely.
I'll
Like,
right.
yeah.
I'll give very interesting example. So almost 1 month back, one of our student at Alma Mater, he was dentist, and
Right.
right now he is working as machine learning engineer in Cloud Physician, one of the company which deals with healthcare projects, right? So that's a very interesting thing. He had this domain expertise in healthcare, right? And he got interested in machine learning. And right now he's working as a machine learning engineer and working in healthcare domain. So that does
Correct.
not mean that like if you are from different background, you cannot like go into this data science field. You cannot pursue this career, right? It's all
Correct.
about check your expertise in which component actually you are like taking it, right? Like whether it is coding or maths or business acumen or communication. So mostly these four are there. If you,
Absolutely. That's your takeaway, guys. It's funny. A lot of people think that data scientist is someone who sits in the corner, uses algorithm to make data tell stories. It's not like that. It's absolutely not just that. It's very much about communication, understanding humans, understanding the domain. Say you come from say a mechanical background, understanding machines, understanding why humans make decisions. Really, I would say the best data scientists are the one who understands people, the domain, just as much as they understand data. So that's the takeaway, guys.
correct, correct. Yep, yep. I totally agree with you. So now like if I decide, okay, I want to become a data scientist, right? So next question is like, how do you start the journey, right? How do you start the journey in data science?
Yeah, right. Right. I think before that, Alok, let's address there is such an overwhelming buzz around roadmap to data science. Like, honestly, data science is such a vast space. Like, the journey would differ so much. Like, if you come from a technical background, or you have doubts that you don't know programming or any technical details, but can you still learn data science? Now, I would say data science, or how do you start with the journey? It's always an ongoing, the learning is always an ongoing process. Like, I'm still learning today, but to start as a newcomer, you could maybe enroll yourself in any introductory micro courses, that could give you a glimpse of the industry, not for the certification, but for you to test your waters. You could just try to understand the overall industry, overall field, what is it about. Maybe watch YouTube videos of, influential people who are specifically working in the industry. Okay, like, there is a chief data scientist of Google, Cassie Kasrov. She talks amazing and she breaks down the concepts and the entire industry into such a, like a touchable thing, you could actually go about. It's not just a sophisticated pretense, field to be with. So once you feel you have a knack for it, then you go for a structured learning. Take help from professional training institutions where you can find the journey specifically curated for you. You can take chewable bites of learning, have one-to-one mentoring session with industry professionals, have a community of people to, enable peer learning for yourself. So I personally recommend Alma Better because I can speak for their quality of content here. But hey, they give you, pay the fees after getting placed policy. Like, I think you should totally exploit this option, because when we started, 4 5 years back, I don't think we had such an opportunity, to test our waters and just see, how is it? Am I, even interested in it? Okay, I've done a project, but am I okay doing that for the, the next 4 to 5 years of my life? But all in all, these structured programs could give you a very solid base, like, compared to your self learning. So yeah, I guess the third step could be, once you're good with that, do a couple of projects. I personally find that learning by doing these real world projects is the most effective way, to grasp this field. So do a couple of projects, make them public, in a way that people can see them. That really could go a long way. So that would actually build your portfolio overall as well while starting. So I hope that answers, and gives a glimpse.
Great, good. So, one very interesting point you mentioned, that there are a lot of courses, right? There are a lot of courses in market. So, don't I'd suggest, like, to all our learners, don't immediately go into like high cost courses, right? You don't
Correct.
have to pay 2 lakhs for one course. Go and watch free videos. There are a lot of free videos on YouTube, right? You can take low cost courses maybe on Udemy, just to test your waters, just to understand whether this field is for you or not, whether you are interested or not, right? Because again, data science is not just one time thing which you are going to learn and then whole life you are going to use it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
that's not going to
right.
happen. That's so 90s.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's like right now in even in government job, you have to learn, right?
That's true.
Exactly. And in data science, definitely like you have to learn every day. Every day you have to add at least 0.001% to your own portfolio, to your own learning.
Correct.
So that's the thing. Like, guys, first understand whether this field, whether this domain is for you. Watch couple of videos. Definitely, Ekta mentioned a few YouTubers, so you can go ahead and watch those videos and understand. First, feel okay, what is data science and whether I am right suited for it, not right. If you are enthusiastic enough, if you have interest in it, in this, doesn't matter if you're from any background like engineering, non-engineering, coding, non-coding. If you have interest, definitely you are going to become a data scientist, right?
Correct. Absolutely. 100% agree.
Right, right. So now, Ekta, I think you mentioned in the end a very interesting thing about the portfolio, right? Data science portfolio you should build.
Right.
So in that case, like, can you talk a little bit about portfolio and how you should create one?
Right. So it's tough to be a first time data scientist, you feel like, you are waiting for the job. You feel in your heart like, you are ready to be a data scientist, or you've studied something and you have some certifications in your hat as a feather, but someone looking at you, maybe from a hiring manager point of view, may not see you as the same. So portfolio is a thing that maybe, you can hang your hat on. So you have stuff on your resume, okay, you have all the list of certifications you've completed, but there is going to be a continuous struggle where, because you know more than, the courses you've taken, you feel like you're struggling to articulate or show that, in a span of 30, or that 1 hour that you get. So having something to hang your hat on is always going to give you an extra edge. Like, hey, look, here's something, one piece of evidence that I have some skill in this, and I'm not just a person who took courses and maybe cheated on the tests. I never figured out. I do have some capabilities in this area.
Hmm.
So that's definitely about portfolio. And I think the other thing that I can think of is, it actually helps you build community. Like, it's hard to stay motivated when you're trying to do something on your own, especially in your free time. You see other people on Instagram and, social media doing a lot of fun stuff, and you on the other hand are putting so much work out there, and nobody's actually, seeing it. So once you do that work and you put it out in public, other people see it, and of course, everyone is aware social media is very reactive. So you get feedbacks for, no reason at all. You get feedbacks for free. You get people, you may get to meet people who are almost doing the same, problem statement that you might be trying to solve, or they might be interested in knowing more about it. So you just build a community, you meet more people, and a lot of people enter into data science community, just by building their first portfolio. So
Yeah, yeah,
I
totally agree.
think,
So here, definitely, like when you are doing something like data science is kind of like mix of theoretical as well as lot of hands-on thing, right? And whatever hands-on you are doing, definitely you should share with the community, with the data science community, to all the learners, right? You will get the feedback, and definitely it will motivate you to work on the next one. Whether it is
correct.
positive or negative, definitely it is going to give you motivation, right? So now I think, see, everyone is working on making portfolio, let's say, right? So
Hmm.
how do you say what
Yeah.
makes a good portfolio?
Good portfolio. Okay, that's like a great question. Um, I'll try to boil it down to through three things in the end. Okay, it's create, share, network. Like, simple three rule. Okay, let's try to focus whenever you think of any portfolio for that matter. Start with basic, beginner projects. Maybe pick up Titanic data set. It's most overly used, but hey, you get to work on it for some reason, and then slowly modulate the complexities in your project. Pick a problem statement you really care about. Model it. Break it down. Try to understand how do you actually get the results out of it. Do you feel like, getting to the end objective? Put it on GitHub, LinkedIn. You can use YouTube or write blogs to showcase, a newly learned skill that you just acquired. But again, with that, I want to be clear that the bar is not necessarily that high. Like, a lot of people I know are scared sharing their code publicly, because what if, people look at my code and think that, oh, it's inefficient, I can't believe they didn't use this package or they didn't use this method. But really, especially if you go for a first time job, a lot more of it is around, can they code at all? Can they clean the data? Can they reason about data and make visualizations? Irrespective of, they might be using default ggplot scheme, or they put some thought into adding some legends to the chart. Really don't put too much pressure on yourself that it has to be a masterpiece or something, to make a good portfolio. It's just about putting something out there. Maybe you might never know that the bar is not that high. Maybe you might think that I am slightly weaker in advanced SQL, nobody's going to hire me. you know Fun, you might happen to know that the bar is, have you ever considered joining two tables in your life? It's data science, again, to repeat for everyone, it's really not being an expert in every one of these, but just hitting the minimum requirements in each area, or most of the area.
Great, great. So you mentioned three things, right? Create, share, and network. So like
Yes.
I think you like boiled down everything to these three, and I'm sure this is what portfolio is. Like I right now I'm getting like this perspective. Okay, create, share, and network. These three things are the like building blocks of creating any good portfolio. So create
This,
is kind of
this
as you
should be your
mentioned.
mantra for, doing
Right.
any
Right.
project.
To all our attendees, definitely this should be your mantra. Create, share, and network. So if I talk about create,
Yes.
as Ekta mentioned, like start working on any projects. Like don't like waste your weekend. Spend 3-4 hours to work on any
Yeah.
project. Initially pick data Titanic, let's say. That's a very simple data sets to work on, right? Apply your knowledge, apply your learnings. And then next would be share it. Share, like put it in GitHub, share on LinkedIn. right? Once you share on LinkedIn, put some thoughts behind it.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is what I have done, and share it on LinkedIn. And don't refrain yourself that, okay, this might not be perfect. Next time when I'll work on something complex, then I'm going to share. No, even if you are beginner, even if it is basic, just feel free to share. Be seamless. Okay, I'll share this work, whether it is perfect or not. Right. That was the second point, share. And Ekta mentioned like network. And the third point is
Right.
like you should network with industry professionals, right? That's a very important thing. Like this is going to help you getting jobs, getting referrals, getting a lot of information whenever you are feeling puzzled whether I should what should I apply. There are a lot of things, right? So network with people, connect with data science folks on LinkedIn, right? Send them connection request. So that's the thing, like don't wait for something to happen, right? Don't wait for tomorrow. Start doing it for today itself, right? Work on something, go and watch any YouTube videos, whatever you have learned, write one blog about it. That is again one create, right? Share that blog on LinkedIn, that is share. And whoever is liking that post, or you can like connect with them, that's a networking, right? So these three things, definitely guys, these three things, if you start doing it, I'm telling you, there is no end to it. You will definitely find your knack, and definitely you will find your sweet spot. Okay, data science, this is so much interesting because
Yeah.
one very interesting fact about data science is that no one problem statement can be solved by one approach. There might be multiple approach to any problem statement. So people are always interested to hear your approach and your perspective, even if it is basic, right? So people say, ki, okay, I was not thinking from this perspective. Might be a different thing for most of the people, right? So that's the thing. Like, don't refrain yourself. Whatever you are working, share it and connect with people. Create, share, and network. Just remember these three things. That should be your mantra, guys. Right? And one more thing, I'll just add in create. Whenever you are working on any project, don't think that okay, this is very simple. I'm going to
Hmm.
start with the complex one. Take the first step. That should be your baby step. Like, okay, I'll take Titanic data set, I'll work on it, and I'll share. Next, add some more complexity. Okay, right now I was working with 20 columns, 20 features. You might not be understanding these things, but once you start learning and watching YouTube videos, definitely you will understand. So add few more complexity. Work on large amount of data, which you're working right now. Work with missing values. Work with different types of data. Different types of data, I mean numerical data, text data, image data. So add complexity over it, right? Don't just stop at Titanic. Titanic earlier, now I'm done, right? I am a data scientist now. That is not
Yeah,
the
yeah,
case.
yeah.
So
That's another myth that people cling to.
correct, correct. So there are a lot of projects, simple projects people have worked, and now they think, okay, I'm a data scientist. But that's not the case, guys. We ourselves, we are very much into this data science, and we follow all the things. Like right now, if you go and search speech recognition, so we started working on audio data. So that was the next level, next the layer we wanted to add in our portfolio. Initially, when I started, I used to work on NLP, then computer vision, and then here speech data has come. So that's the thing. You have to continuously add complexity to your projects, to your portfolio. Great.
Right. Not just, add complexity. Maybe just, you might have done something, try to optimize it, all right, a particular thing might have taken 20 hours to run, I did that, but it's nice, it's everything. Maybe the next step could be optimize it, how can you do it better? How can you automate, few of the things? Maybe you don't really need to have data come clean, take out the tokens, clean the text. Maybe, you can automate all of these just by one simple method, and,
Correct.
use that method every time you do something similarly. So it's all about creation and putting it out there and marketing yourself. Like simple, talk about yourself. You might have learned a new thing, say, you just realized that, oh, you're so grateful that programming languages are in English. Imagine people who coming from Russia or say Latvia, these guys work in Russian or Latvian languages. Now imagine them having a hard time actually coding it out. For us, it's basic English. Like, if that happens, if this happens, if else this. So maybe you're just grateful for that. Just put it out there. It's as simple as that.
Great. One thing you rightly mentioned that problem of language, right? So so right now in India, I'm sure 98% of our students, learners, data science enthusiasts, they really worry about their communications, right? They really worry about their English speaking abilities, right? So can you put some thought on that? Like, how should you improve that? How much it is required for data science?
Um, all right, I wouldn't advocate learn English or anything, but it's more about what you do. Can you communicate that? It's more about like, मतलब बनाया ताजमहल बट बोला उसको like ऐसा like औरंगाबाद वाला fort. Like it's you need to market it, right? So you need to put it out there. So you need the right set of keywords or right set of thought process or articulate in a better way. So communication is super important. As I mentioned, it is one of the dimension to become a data scientist, but it's not just I should speak fluently or anything. I right now being in Europe talk to so many people on an everyday basis who cannot who speak to me in broken English, but it's all about them being able to explain what they did so that we can reproduce or use that or leverage that model to make something more better. So just know how to market what you did, just know how you can articulate what actually happened behind the scenes and what actually you got. So that's more like the communication part or the storyboarding part comes into picture.
Great point actually. So it's not about how accurately you are speaking English, right? It's about
Right.
how structurally you are explaining your ideas, right? You are able to put your thoughts, right? That's the thing. Like that's what I feel. And it's not about like you are whether you are grammatically correct or not, or
Absolutely
whether
not.
your word is rightly placed or not. It's all about the story building, right? Even if
Correct.
you're weak in English, I understand. Like in India, most of our learners are weak in English because our primary or language is like I would say Hindi, right? अगर हिंदी में इंडिया में अगर जॉब में अगर इंटरव्यू होता तो आई वुड से लाइक बहुत लोग जो है कंफर्टेबल होते और आ जाते उसमें only because companies are like taking this interviews in English. Most of
Hmm.
us are not confident enough, right? So
Right.
that's the thing, guys. Don't like think too much about it. It's just a language. It's just a language. Practice every day. If you think okay, you are not good at English, not good at communications. Now here I would differentiate these two. Communications, not good at communication is one thing. Not good at English is another thing, right?
Yeah, correct.
Right. So if
Right.
you are not good at English, definitely work on it. Watch
Hmm.
YouTube videos, try to repeat what in videos they are talking about, right? Those things, think in English. These are very simple basic things to follow every
Right.
day. Maybe talk with someone in English for 1 hour. That is going to add lot of skill to yourself, like lot of confidence in you. And it's all about confidence. Like if you talk with someone 1 hour, even if it is broke, even if it is in broken English, that's fine, right? Now, next part is communications. Communication is a whole lot different thing. If you are good at English, does not mean that you will have a good communication skill, right?
Correct.
Good communication skill is all about how you are building a story. Even if you're talking with someone, your structure should be very much in a manner where the person in front of you, he's able to understand what you're trying to say, right?
Hmm.
And he's interested to hear, right? So it's not
Right.
like कि आप एकदम कहीं कहीं से कुछ भी put कर दोगे और he
Don't
won't
beat
just
around the
get.
bush. Right.
Exactly. Don't beat around the bush. That's a correct phrase. Like be to the point and be a storyteller. And that is not like you are going to achieve tomorrow. You have to work on it. You have to work, and over the time, definitely you are going to be good at it. So what happens, Ekta? So people once they like initially they feel like नहीं ये मेरे से होगा ही नहीं. I'm not good at communications, right? And they stop working on it. And that's a myth. Like कोई inborn
Right.
नहीं होता है. No one is inborn good at communications, right? Everyone has to practice. Maybe someone started right from their high school. They had very good environment, maybe a good
Correct.
school they attended. Their culture was different. There you have to speak in English, so that's why they are good at English, maybe, right?
Right. But that doesn't give you an extra edge. Maybe that just gives you, a way to ease out your conversations. But maybe, you even if you are comfortable in any other language, you can still be a storyteller, right? एक storyteller बचपन में wasn't always English. प्रेमचंद भी एक storyteller थे, right? It's all about all of these areas. But I have a question for you, Alok. So we've talked about a lot in this data science and all. So what specifically do you like about data science, as a field, as a domain? What do you like?
So personally, I would say I already mentioned this. actually in this talk itself, that any problem statement can be approached in a multiple ways,
Right.
right? And that really intrigues me, because then it actually gives you this, okay, you are not, whatever you are thinking, you should talk to a lot of people, right? Get their perspective. Like, I cannot just code in a corner and then I'll say, okay, this whole analysis is done. I need to talk to the business guy. I need to talk to a different domain who is working on it. I need to talk to the head manager, a lot of people I need
Right.
to talk to, and then I'll combine my analysis, because not just about my idea. And you understand, right? There's a lot of bias terminologies that you will, there is in data science, right? So that's the interesting part, that
Mhm.
I can apply machine learning algorithms, AI algorithms, right, to any problem statement, or it can be solved by a very simple concept, right? Very simple thing, you can just go there
Correct.
and solve it out, right? So
Right.
that is very, interesting thing which I look into data science. So you understand, right? Like, in that case, always you will see that it's very easy to make things complex, but always difficult to make it simple, right? Simple to understand, simple to implement.
Correct.
That is what intrigues me, that data science, if I'm thinking, okay, this problem statement can be connected, or can be solved via applying machine learning models, I just erase that first.
Yeah.
I just look at it, okay, what's the simplest thing which I can implement? If I find that simplest thing, I'll go with that initially. Maybe I'll later on I'll go to that complex thing that might not be complex after some point, but initially I'll think what is the simplest thing that I
Yeah.
can implement.
Right.
So that is what actually I like about data science, right? So what do
Right.
you, what is your, I'll ask you the same question, what do you like about it?
I think you clearly articulated it. Like it's a day in a data scientist job or a data science profile as a job. You literally interact with a lot of teams. Like, you interact with the product team, you interact with the deployment team, you interact with the data engineering team. So I think what I really like in data science is we make some hypothesis we with some prior knowledge. Okay, like we have biases in our everyday life decisions as well. Similarly, we make some hypothesis here. We try to assess how we can test this hypothesis, what data can be used, what methods can be used. And after all such plans, use once you start, things around it can change, any second. Like no data is similar, no problem is similar, no particular approach might get you the same result. So it's just very reactive, and the curiosity and the suspense always remains. So I would say overall, it's an exciting process, start to end. That no day in your job is a dull day, I would say. So
Great, great. That's a
that's
very
a
articulated way to put it out. I
yeah.
think, yeah, we actually covered most of the questions, right? Almost all the questions. Now it's time that we will give our attendees to ask their own questions, right? Ask their doubts which they have. So here, first one I have got, and very interesting one. So are the data science jobs going to disappear after 5 years or in the coming future? What's the future of this whole data science field?
You want to take this, Alok, or should I start?
You should definitely take it first.
So, I'm sure you guys might have heard about this, and you might have heard about auto ML models or tech taking away a lot of jobs. That's going to happen. That's definitely going to happen. It's us humans who's creating tech so that we can take away or automate our job. But talking about data science disappearing, are we talking about data disappearing in 5 years? No, right? Do you see data disappearing? Every day, I just see that huge big data to be just getting bigger every day. So if that happens, data science happens. And if data science happens, our jobs happen. So I don't think, it's going to disappear until you believe that, there will be a time we might go back to the nomadic life and there is no data creation anymore.
That's a very good point, actually. So, see, I'll tell you how I look at it, right? So, what happens right now, like most of the data that is unstructured, right? That is not structured. A lot of data, Google has it, Facebook has it. A lot of data among them are unstructured, and they don't know, okay, that is the image, but what is in that image, right? If you have image of me, you might know my name, but what is in that image, they don't know right now, clearly, right? So almost like if I talk about 100%, I'll not put exact number to it, but very less amount of data is structured right now. So when your data is structured, definitely you can put some algorithm, you can automate it. But when you have a lot of unstructured data, how are you going to automate it, right? How you are going to like apply something which is doing anything, everything automatically, cleaning it out, everything? That is not
Correct.
possible. You need human intervention to it, right? And you will see that more and more unstructured data is coming up, right? More and more complexity is coming up in whole data science field itself because of this, like to make this unstructured into structured, right? So that's
Hmm.
the thing, like data science definitely is going to be more complex. There will be a lot of algorithms coming up in coming few years, but
Right.
again, this whole job is not going to disappear, right? Because data science, I'll tell you, right now you might be just starting it, but when I am working, when Ekta is working, I'm sure Ekta, you will see a lot of things when you realize that this cannot be automated, right? There
Hmm.
are a lot of places like where you are going to apply your logic कि, okay, इसको ऐसे कर देते हैं क्योंकि ये sense नहीं बन रहा है, and that
Hmm.
machine cannot do. Might be after
Absolutely.
30 years, like all jobs will be automated, and then at that point of time, if data science will also be automated. But near future, I don't see it going away, right? I don't see it. Like you might get some tools right now. Earlier, people used to do it by hand. Then Excel came, right? And then right
Hmm.
now you can automate it by Python. But that does not mean that your job is easier. Definitely,
Hmm.
you can do things faster, right? What it used to take 1 month to deploy, maybe, or any problem statement to solve, it might
Hmm.
take 1 week. That does not mean data science job is going to go away. Things will become faster because of the tools and platforms you will be getting, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
that's my view. So it is not going to go away, right? All right.
All right.
Great. Next question I've got, like, if it's for you, Ekta. So you have worked as a data scientist across various sectors. Uh, so according to you, which industry has benefited the most with the inclusion of data science? That's a great question, actually.
With the inclusion of data science.
Yes.
All right. So when we initially started, it was more like, tech and IT industry taking in a lot of data science and all. But in my opinion, again, that's my opinion, that I think healthcare is one industry which has, been fascinated with data science and has been benefiting it out of it. Because on an everyday basis, if you see a data being generated or a data being stored, the maximum is in the field of healthcare. Like every person in this world right now is related to their healthcare industry, or in some way or the other. Even if you're a kid, you still go to a dentist. Even if you're a baby boomer, you still go, irrespective of the age, you're still related. And healthcare industry has just taken too much advancements in this, like, just talking about COVID scenarios for that matter. you know Trust me, data science has solved half the battle, and the other battle was, chemistry and other things doing the job. So I think that would be the industry that has maximum.
And I totally agree, because healthcare is all about the human survival, and everything right now we are doing is about human survival, right? Elon Musk is trying to go to Mars because he knows that, okay, Earth is our cage, right? If
Right.
something happens to Earth, if another tsunami comes and half our population is gone, then
Yeah. What if
human
Thanos comes and does this?
Similarly, the tsunami is that itself, right? So
Right.
Homo sapiens whole, it can go extinct, right? Dinosaurs, they might be like populated over the earth, right? But right now they got extincted, right? Because of one
Hmm.
asteroid coming and hitting the earth. So that's why it's all about whatever we are doing, it's all about our survival. So I feel definitely healthcare, if we include more and more AI, machine learning there, data
Hmm.
science concepts, it is going to benefit human beings directly. Definitely,
Too
there are
much.
other things which is
Yeah.
like influencing and affecting indirectly, but healthcare is something which is like affecting directly to this. But there are a lot of caveats
Yeah,
that
yeah, absolutely. There are a bunch of industries that are benefiting out of it, be it logistics, be it, supply chain, be it retail or CPG. All of them are, of course, every industry data has touched and it has improved their lives. But yes, comparatively, what we're talking about.
correct.
Yeah.
Next question. Again, it's a very interesting. Like, the education percentage criteria is important for data science job.
It's very funny, but even Google nowadays is not taking in, your Ivy League degree, degrees and all. Just the other day, I was explaining my father, how masters or doing masters is not something that is, a priority now. It's more shifting towards, graduates breaking down into it, even certifications or courses, or like we talked about portfolios, just by that you could actually land a job in FANG, or any company that you desire for. So educational percentage criteria for that matter is not important, but yeah, bare education is important to get something.
So I'll ask Sunil to think about it rationally. So, okay. So if you're talking about education percentage, we being startup, right? If we want to hire a data scientist, right? We
Hmm.
know that in your college, in your school, you have not been taught data science, right? So
Right.
why does that percentage matter? Why will that matter, right? It's all about your skill, which should matter, right? And again, if like Ekta mentioned, portfolio, create, share, and network. If you are working on project, showcasing on to the data science community, sharing on LinkedIn, definitely they will understand you have a skill for that, right? And I'm not going to look at 100 of toppers, like 98% आया हुआ है तो मैं उसको पहले ले लूंगा, क्या होगा उससे मेरा 90%
Hmm.
लेकर के मेरा काम नहीं होगा ना. अगर मैं
Hmm.
स्टार्टअप हूँ, if I want to hire, I'll look for people who has skill in that, right? So if you have skill, definitely I'll going to hire you and not look at your education percentage, because that is not relevant to my the job which I want you to do.
It's funny, Alok, that you are saying this coming from an IIT Kharagpur background, but yeah, that absolutely makes sense to me as well. Because, but I'm sure a lot of degrees are actually including a lot of data science courses, and more, educational institutes might pick it up very
Mhm.
soon. But that's not going to be the criteria ever. That's for sure. Eventually that boundary that you might see a lot of role, or any LinkedIn job description you might see needs a master's or PhD, isn't anymore the must, like that's a must have. It's more towards now going into good to haves, but must haves are other things, like do you even have knowledge about things, like I mentioned, have you ever joined two tables in your life?
Mhm.
Like
True.
that's the crux. Let's focus on the fundamentals.
Right.
All right,
I
next.
think this is the same answer I would give to Rohan as well. If a person is having a uh, career gap, and can he get a job at data scientist? Again, does not matter, right? Maybe you
Yeah.
are maybe you are preparing for UPSC right now. If I talk about it, like UPSC is spoiling lot of youngsters. Like they are like 4 or 5 is very I should not say it out loud, but if you think about it, like people are preparing for this for 5 6 years, right? They might have just tried okay 1 or 2 times, and then they can switch, and there are a lot of other things to do, right? There are a lot of things to just explore your interest, right? There are a lot of things, right? There are a lot of domains. Does not mean that you should go into data science itself. Software, finance, n number of things are there, right? But again, this is spoiling people. Like 5 6 years they are just working on one thing, and then they think okay, I have gap years, what should I do now? Does not
Hmm.
mean that you cannot do anything, or you it's too late. It's never too late, guys. So Rohan,
Dhruv
again,
mentions that he was preparing for UPSC.
I understand, because again, I am running Institute Alma Better, and I have seen a lot of these guys
Hmm.
asking me the same question. So I tell them the same thing here. Gain the skill. Don't forget about your 5 years of gap years, right? If you can defend your resume, if you can defend your project in an interview,
Your
they are
work.
not exactly. They are not going to ask you कि 5 साल क्या कर रहे थे, आपको project क्यों, लेकिन 5 साल क्या किए थे, पहले मेरे को ये बताओ.
Hmm.
Right? They're not going to ask you that. So it's very simple, that work on your skill and forget about something which you did like 4 5 साल क्या हुआ. I'm sure you must have gained some skill, like you I'm telling you, like UPSC ka one thing I mention always, that you have that sitting capacity, right? Focus capacity. Like people who are preparing for UPSC, they sit for 10 12 hours straight, right?
Hmm.
So that is something you have gained in those 4 5 years. Be grateful for that and apply that and same enthusiasm and motivation to this data science. I'm sure you're going to ace it,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? So yep, Rohan, all the best. I'm sure you are going to become a data scientist. Don't worry about your gap years.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vikas is asking, to be very frank, I'm not good at uh, yeah, I'm not good at, because it's asking to be, I'm not good at maths, and I had that subject long ago, so I'm still able to survive in this industry. So am I able to pursue and get a good job? Okay, so I believe Vikas is already working as a data scientist or data analyst, and he is not good at maths. So he is asking like whether he will be able to survive in this industry, right? If I'm not wrong, Vikas. So yeah, see, I'll tell you, you are in a better place. Taking this question, right? Because it's a very interesting question, and these all things are
You
we
get
are
all worked up on this question, is it?
right. So here, what happens? Most of the people, they don't know what is their weakness, right?
Hmm.
And if you know that you are not good at maths, that's the better place to be, rather
Yeah,
than
yeah.
knowing क्या गड़बड़ है.
Already self-aware. Yes.
Exactly. Like क्या प्रॉब्लम है, अगर वो हम लोग ऐसे चल रहे हैं, if you know that you are not good at maths, that's a better place to be, right? So it's better that if you know that you are not good at maths and that is required in this industry, work on it. No, like there
Hmm.
is, like it's never too late that okay, now you cannot learn maths, or you are not, if you're not interested, definitely look for something which is interesting to you. Maybe data science field might not be for you, right? I'm being very honest here. If you want to switch your career, that's fine, again, that's fine, right? But in that case, if you know
Hmm.
that you are not good at maths and that is required in your career, work on it and make sure that you ace it.
Right. I would just like to add here one point is, yeah, self-awareness is always a good thing to, or you're already better in a better place. But again, because if you are not good at maths, doesn't mean you might not be good at other things. So, you can still, if talking about survival is going to happen for you, dude. Like in this industry, for that matter, any industry. But when we talk about, as we discussed, there are multiple dimensions. Take up your strength and maybe work on that, either work on your weakness and get it at par at a rock bottom place, and then you work on your strengths and you extrapolate those skills to get you in a better place. Maybe I might not be good at coding, but I can still articulate things, I can still break down the problems, I can still see through the business and understand what problem they might face later. So you can be good at multiple things. That doesn't necessarily mean that you will not be a good data scientist or you will be harsh on yourself.
Right, right. Exactly. Like just like if you are self-aware, you are already in the better place,
Yeah.
and think of like what all skills you have. Right? Focus on that. Right.
Yep.
And don't just think about survival. Think about growth. Right.
Yes.
Life में survive करना ये इधर stress,
Is
right? If you
yeah.
are surviving, then you will take a lot of stress here, because again, आप कर भी रहे हो काम और उसको आपको appreciation भी नहीं मिलेगा, right? There are a lot of stress in your head right now कि okay, मेरे को survive करना है, बस survive करना है, project
हाँ.
करना है, but you are not putting your 100%. कुछ थोड़ा दे करके निकल लिए हम लोग. That is not how you should look at things. Rather, looking at it थोड़ा सा survival end से move to growth. How I can grow in this field. Once you
Hmm.
change this mindset, definitely everything journey will look clear to you.
Yes.
Right now, all
All
right.
right. We have a new question that create share. I lack confidence. Exactly what I just explained earlier. It's not about putting out a masterpiece. It's just about putting something out there, that might make sense to you, might not make sense to a lot of people. Just it's funny, but try putting out one Instagram story and you get a lot of reactions, you get a knack for it, like that thing. But again, don't look for people validation, because then that might scare you. At some post you might not receive the expected reactions and then you would get discouraged. Or maybe there are a lot of people who will come and give you negative feedbacks to your things. Again, it's a continuous process. It's a process where you keep putting out there, and maybe something might hit, maybe something might go viral. It's every day that we see that something goes viral, just because somebody just put out in the thought of putting it out. They didn't think that day ki, chalo aaj subah उठ के I'll make a viral reel. Nobody does that. They just make a video, or they just make a content, and then when they put it out, you might receive different reactions. Just wait for the world to open up to you. You might find a lot of good things.
Great, great. That's a great answer.
A lot of philosophy, but yeah, it's all about
Yeah, it's all about
baby
taking the
steps.
first step. Yep, it's all
Yeah,
about
yeah.
taking the first step. Like if you fear about sharing anything, do the first post and then see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? घर में
Yeah,
आके कोई
there's
उठा के
nothing
पी नहीं
to
जाएगा ना.
lose.
हाँ,
Yeah,
ऐसे ऐसे थोड़ी ना आएगा, थप्पड़ मार के निकल जाएगा और बोलेगा कि अरे तूने
yeah.
ये शेयर क्यों किया. नहीं, that is not going to happen ever. Right? So that's the thing,
Right.
Suresh. Uh, was the worst. There's nothing worse that can happen. Just put it out, and be confident. Okay, this is my first post. I'm going to eventually improve. Right? First post, mein whatever you felt, okay, I should have done this. Next post may include that. Right? So that's the
Mm.
thing. Like, be very confident and be very outward. Like, if you want to share, just go there and share. There are millions of people, right? It's not like कि आपको सब आकर के आप पे हंसेगा. No, that is not going to happen. Lot of people just refrain themselves. They are going to appreciate you. At least you have posted something, right? So think it like this. People will appreciate you because all of them have this public like public may everyone
Mm.
get fear, right? Public speaking is a worst fear, if you know, right? That's the
Mm.
worst fear, like how you are going to portray yourself in
Correct.
front of public. So that's the thing. Overcome that. Do the first post and see. Eventually, you are going to get addicted to it, right? So that is serious. Uh, okay, so we have two more questions, and then we are going to end this session with Ekta's advice. So, so
Hmm.
for one question is Upasna is asking, I'm having experience as a HR manager. Should I go for data scientist or data analyst? I want to switch my career. Please, Ekta, if you want to take this question.
um, so that's a wonderful place to be HR as an HR manager, I would say, because again, the analytics in the field of HR is growing amazing. Okay, and you already having the the full in and out of the HR business, you can actually now know things and use data to apply these things. Now, again, if the question is, do you want to become a data analyst or data scientist? Again, that's a full-fledged discussion for some other time. But again, there are a lot of difference between data analyst, data scientist, and but all you have to first understand is, do you even feel like stepping in this field? Do you feel like you can use data, crunch it, and get insights out of it? The crux remains same, for being a data analyst, being a data scientist, they all come under a bigger umbrella. But the point is, if you want to make something groundbreaking, if you want to just find out new business problems, and you know the problems now in your industry. So if you want to work and unsolve those, or those unhidden or hidden challenges, go for data scientist, do a more complexer job, I would say. But if you want to go around and just answer basic business questions around it, data analyst is a good place to be. But again, that's a very layman thing to say. There is a whole lot of 1 hour discussion on what's these, how these two are different. If
Right.
that makes sense to you, Alok, as well, if you want to add.
Yeah, sure. So Upasana, like as Ekta, you rightly mentioned, and we were also discussing about it. There's nothing like you cannot like if you are from HR or sales or any other domain, you cannot get into data science, right? I'm sure if you are HR manager, you might be good at something. Like you might be good at one of the things categories which we are discussing about, right? Coding, and then business acumen, communications, maths. See, like if it like these all things, out of these all things, at least one thing should intrigue you, right? If you're good at communication, definitely you will be good at data storytelling. Rest all you can definitely learn, right? That's the point. So Ipasna, don't worry about this, like I'm a HR manager, whether I will be able to get into data science or data analyst. Don't go into the second step. Let's take one step back and understand whether this field you are interested in. So again, as Ekta initially mentioned, that go and watch videos on YouTube, right? Watch few small courses on YouTube. Maybe you can go to Udemy and buy low cost courses, right? And there you just test your waters, test that whether this field is interesting for you. Once that is there, you can go to more structured programs, maybe Alma Better, or it totally depends upon you guys. Just go and research about these things, right? So that's my point. Like, go first, understand that whether it is interesting for you or not. Get into like Udemy, YouTube videos.
Hmm.
Then you research about institutions, programs, and then you get into that, and then finally decide, okay, right now I want to be data scientist, and then don't step back. Right from then
Hmm.
onwards, always think about that. You have to fly.
Right.
Now, last question we are going to take. So, is understanding business problems is also important in data science industry?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's the crux of it. Like any problem that you take up, like what do you do with data? You try to solve a problem, and you try to like get an answer or predict better or do the same job in a better way. that's the crux, right? So when you talk about knowing, understanding business problems, that's the crux, right? Like knowing what the business does so that you know that where is it lacking, so that you can come and make a informed or a better decision using data. So I think all the problems start with the business and the problems around it, and then you apply data, you apply algorithms, you apply engineering. So yeah, I guess.
Yeah, this pretty much like answers this question. Yes, I agree. So I will take one more question. So I think there is one question in Q&A section. So Lalit is asking, like he has experience in field of digital marketing. Will switching to data science or data analytics stream a good idea? Right? Is it a good idea if he already has experience in digital marketing? So what is your take on it?
Absolutely. I think you are already dealing with data in your everyday life. You know what is it, you know how to track the KPIs, you know what the KPIs do, you know how to interpret those results and make a better decision. So you are already doing a similar job. It's just that you might learn data science and do a more better job at it. You could do a better work at it. You know what does those KPIs actually would create a back end effect. You might see a lot of things that might actually make sense to you in your entire digital marketing blocks. So I think it's a absolutely amazing idea to be as your next step in your career journey.
Great, great, great. So here, one thing I would like to mention. So most like why people want to switch from digital marketing to any other field to data science. They think of it as like high career growth. Like immediately they are going to get the raise, right? They are going to get
Correct.
20 LPA, all these things, right? They have this in their mind. But I'll tell you guys, in long run, it does not matter, right?
Hmm.
There are VP of digital marketing, there are chief digital marketing guys, right? They are earning in crores and crores.
Hmm.
Like if they would have gotten into data science, they might not be the same guy, right? They might not be the same person. So that's the thing, guys. Data science is kind of the essential skill. Definitely go through it, learn how to gain insights from different for your
Hmm.
problem statement, and then apply into your field. If you are not at all happy with your field and you want to switch into data science, you can definitely do that anytime, right? We have already discussed a lot of things about it. But then
Hmm.
again, evaluate yourself. Okay, if you want to be in digital marketing, you can definitely back it up with your knowledge of data science and excel in that itself. That is also one way to look at it, right? One way
Hmm.
to grow digital marketing. Again, it's a very growing field, right? Most of the people are right now on internet, and if you do marketing on internet, there are a lot of
Hmm.
ways to optimize it,
That's
lot of
the
ways to
next stage.
show yourself. So I'm sure digital marketing, don't worry, but like don't go with the hype, right? Understand yourself, right?
Yeah.
Whether you want to continue with digital marketing, because again, this is going to be a next level thing. Everyone is going to come on digital platforms, right? So marketing is a key thing, right? Data science is not just there ki, okay, अच्छा लग रहा है चले जाते हैं उसमें, नहीं.
Buzz है.
Evaluate it.
हाँ.
Don't
हाँ.
like run after buzz. Rather, definitely gain some skill and apply it into your work. And if you gain these skills, definitely you are going to grow in your own domain. But does that
Correct.
not mean like if you're not at all interested in digital marketing, definitely you can switch, and again you can follow our rest of the conversation. You will get to know how to do that. Right. I think, yeah, we are done with all the Q&A, Ekta. So I would like to ask you the final question. So what is your last
Okay.
piece of advice for all our attendees here?
Oh, advice for
Yes.
everyone. That's a big responsibility. Although, I think I have a huge list of things that I might have, I wish I knew before I started with data science, but maybe that could be advice to people. But again, there are bunch of them, so we'll just narrow it down. I think the first one would be so you think you need to know everything listed in, say, you Google and you identify the top 50 skills in the data scientist list, and you feel like you need to know everything before you actually get into the job scenario and all. I think people are forgetting context these days. The skill you depend, like the skill you need depends on the job, depends on the company, depends on the industry you will be involved in. Like the fundamentals remain same, yes, but of course, again, those top 50 skills की Apache Kafka भी पढ़ना है, मेरे को Streamlit भी करना है, मेरे को live inferencing करना है, deployment करना है. No, pause. Say you have an experience in churn prediction. It might be very relevant if you are, in a telecom company or a CPG company, but very less relevant or important for a job in a pharma company, for example. So I don't think it's everything to be ticked off, like time series bhi karna hai, ye bhi karna hai, wo bhi karna hai. I don't think that's the crux, but you need to have the basic fundamentals. That's it. Let's not forget the context. Um, I think the second would be a lot of, like, when I started, I wanted to work in a FANG company. When I say FANG, Facebook or Amazon or Google, I aspired to be there. And even after 5 years, that stance has changed completely. I 100% disagree with that statement, because they are the best. I need to be there. I am the best talent. I'm sure, they are great companies, but there are other companies that are doing amazing, like you know uh, please look out to those companies. They are also looking for great talent and great pay. The pay is very competitive. Like, if you play your cards right, you will be paid in two types of currency, okay? Money and knowledge and experience. Like, I kept switching from a startup to a renowned name to again a brand, but I still feel, in places where you get an escalation line of knowledge or experience, that's the real currency that you need to start with as your journey. And last but not the least, everybody thinks that Excel is inferior to Python and R. No way, Excel is crazy powerful for pivoting data. Sometimes it's just faster and easier to work with a graphic user interface. So Excel is not something, it's more about effectively communicating the insights. You can create the same dashboard in Excel. I would say Excel is the real OG in data science.
Okay.
So let's conclude with that.
So, yep, I think it was a great advice. Thank you, Ekta. So, folks, with this, we have now raised to the end of this session. And thank you, Ekta, for taking out time for this session and enlightening our learners with your words and experience, right? It was a great session, and hopefully that our students, learners, data science enthusiasts, they got to learn a lot about data science, right? So now,
I'm glad.
yeah. So now to our audience, I would say, guys, our wings already exist. All we need to do is fly. So that's my advice to you guys, right?
That's
Yeah.
the real takeaway, guys.
So yeah, after that, like, don't forget to take get your certificate from the course. Like, you are already enrolled in that course. Get the certificate, share it on LinkedIn, and start your journey today itself. Like, just
Yeah,
think of
what are you
it.
waiting for?
Exactly. And if you have any further questions about the data science and data science industry, you can connect with Ekta on LinkedIn. And if you want to connect with me, definitely you can connect. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn itself. All right.
That's
So,
being
so
very
again,
modest, but yeah, guys.
yeah.
Please
Again,
feel free to reach out to any of us. We are all available on multiple platforms. LinkedIn would be the best way, because otherwise it would just be. But yeah, I guess, yeah, it was amazing session and really loved the questions around. Thank you so much for having me, Alok.
thank you. Again, it was lovely to have you here today. Thank you so much for your time. So that's the end of this session. Thank you, guys. We are going to end this. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye bye.